Hi, welcome. My name is Lindsay Bucaferni, and I work in admissions and records at Central Oregon Community College in Bend, Oregon. Today, we will be talking about why COCC is an awesome choice to continue your education, and we'll just introduce you to learn more about our school. So thanks for joining us today. So to start with, these are some kind of high level points, but some important things to think about and some great features of COCC. So first of all, accessibility. What I mean when we say that is that everybody that applies to COCC is accepted. So we don't have entrance requirements. And this is a really important core principle to us as a community college. So everybody is welcome. Second, location. It's hard to beat Central Oregon. Our main campus is in the heart of downtown, of Northwest Bend, but we also have 3 other campuses in Madras, Prineville, and Redmond. So it's really convenient for our students in Central Oregon. Are close by, and if you're coming from out of the area, Bend is an awesome spot to further your education. The third point is affordable tuition. We have one of the most affordable tuitions in the state of Oregon. So it's a great way to save money and get a really high quality education, but not pay a lot of money either. And then small classes. That's another amazing perk of a community college. At COCC, the student to faculty ratio is 17:1. So that means you will know your teachers and your instructors, and they will know you, and you'll be able to go ask them questions and interact with them and take advantage of all that comes with that. And then you can see there, we have so many different degrees and certificates and pathways for you. So we'll talk more about that and share what those look like, but there are a lot of great opportunities. And then lastly, you can see we have on-campus housing. So this is really unique for a community college, and we're super proud of this. It's not typical for community colleges to offer residence halls, but we do. And we'll talk more about WikiUp Residence Hall and show you some pictures of that. But it's a really great way to still get that on-campus university experience, but all the perks of a community college. So it's kind of the best of both worlds. So let's talk a little bit more about some of the programs that we offer.
Hi, everyone. I'll introduce myself really quick. I'm Sophia Straneri, and I work with Lindsay in the Admissions and Records Office at Central Oregon Community College. And so this slide, we are going to talk about your options at COCC, as well as maybe transferring on to a university after your time at COCC. So for career and technical certificates and associate's degrees, Lindsay will talk a little bit more about the specifics around those. But those are degrees or certificates you can receive at COCC specifically. And those are a pretty specific pathway if you just want to get your certificate right away and go straight into the workforce. That's a great option. And Lindsay can kind of talk about the timeline with that in the next slide. And then with transfer preparations. So we have what's called a transfer associate degree in short. And a lot of students come to COCC to get those prerequisites out of the way to transfer onto a university. And Lindsay mentioned the affordable tuition. A lot of students take up on that because it is so affordable taking those classes, the exact same classes of math, writing, your general courses at COCC rather than a university, and then transferring on to take those higher level classes.
So this is kind of an overview of some of the academic programs that we offer. This is not all of them by any means. So those career and technical programs that Sophia mentioned, the certificates could range from maybe 3 months to up to 2 years to complete. So there's a really wide variety when it comes to those certificates. And a typical associate's degree could be completed in 2 years if you're a full-time student, but it could take you longer if you're not a full-time student, and you get to do whatever is best for you. So just remember that. But really the goal behind those career and technical programs is that you get that certificate or that degree and then you start working. So it is a really quick pathway to get additional training, and it doesn't take a lot of time and money. So these are programs like automotive, welding, vet tech, nursing, certified nurse assistant, pharmacy tech, aviation, culinary, criminal justice. So there's a really, really wide variety. And I would encourage you to check out our website to learn more. If one of these piques your interest, there's a lot more detail on there. And then you can also see the rest of our career and technical programs. But in general, they tend to be more hands-on. So if that's something that you're looking for and that's your learning style, then I would encourage you to look at these because they do lead to great careers. And then on the other side of it, transfer. So if you do want to move on to a university after your time at a community college, that is what these transfer programs are designed to do, like Sophia mentioned. So these are programs like sociology, art, history, engineering, math, human services, chemistry, forestry, and many, many more. And then the other one that I'll throw out there is if you have no idea what you want to do, that's okay. There's a lot of students that don't know, or they think they know, and then they change their mind. So we have something called exploratory. So if you don't know, don't let that hold you back from starting college. You can start as an exploratory student and then try to, take a few different classes and figure out what might be a good fit for you. And doing that at the community college level is really smart because you do save a lot of money as you're trying to figure that out, and you have those smaller classes so you get a better feel for the department that you're in and that you might be interested in pursuing as a degree.
Great. So we just talked about the different degrees and certificates that are available at COCC as well as transferring on. So what does it look like to pay for those things? So starting with in district, we just consider that Central Oregon district. And that is going to be around 109 per credit. And you're looking at about 4,500, a little over that for the year. And so I do want to say these are all sticker prices. This does not include any financial aid or Oregon Promise, anything like that, that we will talk about later on. And so if you are an out of district or a border state student, it's going to be 153 per credit, a little over 6,000 for the year. A really awesome perk that COCC has is that border states get in-state tuition. So from a student coming from, let's say, Portland, and then a student coming from California, they will pay the exact same tuition price, which is awesome and a huge benefit for students at COCC. And then for out-of-state students, it's going to be 318 a credit and a little over 12,000 for the year.
Just to kind of give you guys some background, I know I didn't fully understand this in college, but a full-time student is defined as 12 credits for financial aid reasons. You can take more than 12 credits though. So every school charges by the credit. So you might be in more than 12, you might be in less than 12, depending on your schedule. And a typical associate's degree is about 90 credits. A typical bachelor's degree is made up of about 180 credits. So I hope that kind of gives you an idea of what that looks like term by term and why we charge per credit. So now that Sophia kind of covered the cost, how do you go about paying for that? So this is a really high level overview. There's way more information online, and we would encourage you to check it out on our financial aid website or at other sites. There's a lot of great sources out there. But we encourage students to start with the FAFSA or the ORSA. You don't do both, you do one or the other. The FAFSA is the free application for federal student aid. And if you are not eligible for the FAFSA, then I would encourage you to look at the ORSA, and that's the Oregon Student Aid Application. So when you file those open October 1st. So we encourage students to fill that out as soon as they can after that October 1st opening date. There's different types of money that you may or may not be eligible for. So the first is grant money. Grant money is gift money or free money. You're being given this money to pay for college. You don't have to repay it. So that's going to look at your financial need, which is assessed through that FAFSA or the ORSA. And then the second that you see on there is work study money. So that's essentially what it is. You are working on campus and you're getting a paycheck for that, that time that you're working. And then the last is loans. So student loans, remember, you're borrowing money from the government to pay for your tuition. You do have to repay that with interest. So we always encourage students to exhaust all your other resources before tapping into those loans, but know that they are there to help you as well. But there's a lot of other funding sources to look at too. The second is Oregon Promise on there. So this is for Oregon students. If you are graduating from an Oregon high school or receiving your GED and you are attending an Oregon community college, you have to attend within 6 months You have to file a FAFSA and ORSA, and you have to either pass your GED exams or have a 2.5 cumulative high school GPA. You have to apply for Oregon Promise, but it's a super easy application. And awards range from $1,000 to a little over $4,000 for the school year. So we encourage everybody to apply for Oregon Promise. You don't know what your plans might be. It's nice to have that as an option as you figure out what might be a good school for you. And it's a great incentive to attend a community college as well, to get a little bit of free money to help pay for your tuition. And then lastly, you see on their scholarships. So we encourage students to put the hard work in. It's not easy, but those scholarships are there and they're out there to help students. So particularly at COCC, we have a couple great ones. The first on there is the Foundation Scholarship, and all students coming to COCC are welcome to apply for it. You have to have a 2.0 GPA, you have to file your FAFSA or your ORSA, but the foundation is incredibly generous. This last year, they gave out $1.7 million in scholarships to our students. So we definitely encourage you to put a little bit of time in to fill out the application and write those really short essay questions. And there's way more information on our website about that. The second that you see on there, OSAC, this is for our high school students in the state of Oregon as well. OSAC is a statewide scholarship. It's one application, hundreds of scholarships, so it is worth your time to see what scholarships you might be eligible for. And then lastly, you see community scholarships on there. So if you are a high school student, there's a lot of money in your community that people have given to students that they can take to whatever school that they're going to. So we would encourage you to work with your local high school counselor or your college and career center to see what local community scholarships are out there. And there are scholarships for everybody. So definitely take the time to research and look into that. And also whatever college you decide on, whether it's COCC or a different school, look at those institutional scholarships. Because all of those things can add up really quickly and help provide a good chunk of money to pay for your tuition.
So Lindsay just went over all of the ways to pay for college, and I will now start with Wiki Up Residence Hall. So this is our residence hall we have at COCC, and that is something that is super unique to COCC. So in Oregon alone, there are 17 community colleges, and only 3 of them have residence halls, and we are one of them. So this is a great way to get that college experience at a community college, and this is also a great way to be in the know of everything that's going on campus. I personally lived in the residence hall my first year, and it made or break my experience. Like, I met so many people. I was really close to tutoring and all of the different resources we have on campus, as well as all of the events that go on as well. And so that really made my college experience wonderful. And so I will now go into the room and board rates, or Lindsay can. Sorry, this is your slide. I was just like going on. So with the room and board rates, there's a lot going on here. So we will start just at the top with the chart. So why there are 4 different prices is because there are 4 different meal plans. So we have the starter, basic, standard, and preferred. And so, for example, the starter is only 7 meals per week with an additional $500 of flex cash for the term. So if you are just wanting to do maybe dinner in our Coates Campus Center for our dining hall, you can just do that one. And then you have a lot of flex cash you can use at the market or cafe to use for snacks, lunch, that type of thing. And so then we have our room plans down at the bottom. So we have a quad double and a quad single. So the differences between the two is that the quad double, there are 4 people all together, but there are 2 people in each bedroom. So the light blue right over here, if you can see my mouse, there's 2 students here, 2 students here that share a bedroom. And then they go out into a shared living area where students have couches and TVs, and we'll show you pictures here in a second. And then you also have your own bathroom, which is pretty awesome. You don't have to go all the way down the hall to use a community shower or anything like that. And then our quad single, there is still 4 people in that room as a whole, but you have your own room, which is awesome. So there are 4 separate bedrooms in one big room, and you share the living room area as well as the bathroom, same like the double. So totally up to you and what you would like to do. And if you do know someone that you are wanting to come to COCC with and room with them, you can request to live with them. They just have to request you. And then you are most likely going to live together if you choose to do that. So that's another perk as well.
All right, so we'll kind of show you guys some pictures to visualize what the space actually looks like. There's more on our website as well, so feel free to check that out. But I also just wanted to mention it's so awesome. It's not a requirement to live on campus, but it's a great opportunity. There's a lot of reasons why so many universities require students to live on campus their first year. There's just so many positives to it. So it's super convenient, but it's also awesome to have it at the community college level because those career and technical programs that traditionally aren't offered at universities that we do have at the community college level, like now you still have the opportunity to live on campus while you're also doing your career and technical program. So that's really, really awesome. Or a transfer program and you're saving money. So it's pretty cool. And it's a great way to meet people like Sophia said. So you can see here in this picture on the left-hand side, this is an example of a quad double room and then the double suite. So students can bunk their beds, they can loft them, they can just have them, one on each side. Students really have autonomy to figure out like what they want their room to look like, which is awesome. And then every hallway as well, we call it a community, and every community has a community assistant. And a community assistant is a student staff member, and their job is to engage with those students and create community and help them through all the areas that they might be struggling, because college can be a transition. They plan a lot of fun events, and they're kind of your go-to person when you live on that hallway. And then you can see on the picture on the right-hand side that this is the lounge space, the game room. So it's where a lot of students hang out. You can go, play games with friends. There's laundry downstairs, several laundry units. There's a community kitchen as well if you want to go and use that. Sophia did mention that part of what you're paying for is your meals. So you might not use that kitchen at all, but it is nice for some students if you want to make dinner and then go watch a movie with friends or make cookies or something like that. So that's kind of like the living spaces in WikiUp. If we go to the next slide, we have a few more pictures to show you. Awesome. So that building that you're seeing from the outside, that is the Coates Campus Center. So Sophia mentioned, all of your meals that you eat and that you're paying for, that's where they all are served. So the Coates Campus Center is literally right across the track from WikiUp Residence Hall. And we'll show you an aerial picture here in a second to help you visualize that a little bit more. But our campus center is essentially our student services center, our student union. No classes are held there. It's really a building that's for our students and for you to get involved and engaged and go have a cup of coffee. You can see in the picture on the right-hand side, there is the dining hall. So downstairs we have an all-you-can-eat buffet service area. So we consider that a hot meal if you live on campus. And then we also have a little grab and go market downstairs and a coffee shop upstairs. So if you live on campus, that's where you're going to eat all your meals. If you don't live on campus, you can still pop in here and grab lunch or grab a cup of coffee. But this building also houses our diversity and inclusion office, student life, student government, the Broadside Student Newspaper, our Veterans Lounge, and our Multicultural Center. So there's a lot of great things to do in the campus center. And then lastly, this is that aerial picture to kind of give you a visual of where things are at. COCC does sit on about 200 acres on our Bend campus. It's our largest campus. So it is a pretty big campus, but this shows you where WikiUp sits. So WikiUp is in that bottom left-hand corner, and then you can see the track right across the track. That is where the campus center is. And then to the right, you can see the tennis courts. That's where Mazama Gym is. So if you want to go get a workout in, if you're taking a PE class, that will be in Mazama. And then all the way to the left is our Barber Library. So that's a great resource for students. There's so many support services to help you academically, but it's also a great place to go study. So all of those things, if you live on campus, that you'll be needing on a daily basis are just within a really short walk. And it's really nice for students just to roll out of bed and walk to class and walk to all those services.
Awesome. So Lindsay talked about a lot of the different buildings that are close to WikiApol that house a ton of resources and services, and I will just shortly talk about a lot of them. And I will mention that wherever you choose to go to college, a lot of colleges will have exactly these resources. So to start, our Career Center, that is in our Cascades Hall in our CAP Services department. So our Career Center is available to all students, and that's mostly just there for you if you need help writing a resume, a cover letter, if you are looking for a job shadow, or if you are just really wanting to know what types of jobs are out there after your time at COCC. And Lindsay mentioned an exploratory degree. A lot of students have no idea what to do or where to even start. And that's totally fine. That's kind of the best place because you have all these options, and the Career Center can help you out with that. We also have personal counseling on our campus, and that is free for students for 5 sessions. And so that's an amazing resource. Because like Lindsay also said, like college is hard and there are a lot of things that, can happen, and transitions are hard too. So we always want to support our students, academically as well as emotionally and mentally. And then tutoring, is another huge perk on our campus. That is free. So our Barber Library down there in the pictured tutoring is down there, and a lot of students use that on a daily basis, and even that could be a student job as well. We do have our disability services, which is right next to our tutoring center actually, and so our disability services accommodate students outside of the classroom, inside the classroom, whatever is needed. And then diversity and inclusion, there are a ton of different clubs that students can be a part of, or even create a club on campus if you would like to. We really like to say there is something for everyone. So whether that be our Latinx club, or LGBTQ plus club, our Native American club, there are a ton of different ones to be a part of and kind of make that college experience for yourself. And then we talked a lot about on-campus housing and how unique that is for students. Computer labs, testing center, that is going to be mostly all around campus. Our testing center is in our library, so a lot of students use that if they are going on vacation, if they get sick, if their car breaks down, things happen. You can use the testing center to make up your tests and quizzes from that. We have a lot of different sports and recreation, either clubs or intramural sports. So the difference between that is intramural is students versus students at COCC on campus. And then club are actually more competitive, and you do play other schools. So for example, rugby is pictured there, and I believe they're playing Willamette University, University in Salem. So that is something you can be a part of as well if you just want to meet people, be active, get a good workout in, and also socializing. And then our student life office puts on a lot of different events for students on campus. I think Lindsay and I's favorite one is during finals week, they bring dogs to campus, and you can go into the library and pet some puppies and dogs to kind of get that stress relief. So that's always something we love to share. And then our student government office, that is a paid job on campus. So if you are, oh my goodness,
It's all good.
so sorry. It's been doing this. 1 second.
Well, while Sophia figures that out, I'll just kind of fill you in. So student government is an awesome way not only to get a paycheck and have a job, but you're creating a resume and you're learning and you're getting a ton of really great professional experience while you're still in college. And that's so important because when you graduate, that degree is so important, but also having experience is going to set you apart when you start applying for jobs. So student government is a cool way to represent your students and learn a lot in a really safe setting. The same thing as the Broadside Student Newspaper. Those are paid jobs. They will teach you everything you need to know. So it's a cool way just to have everything right on campus and to gain a lot of great new skills and experiences. And then outside of student government and the Broadside, there are tons of other jobs on campus. Some are work study, some are not work study. You could be a student ambassador and lead campus tours. You could work at the gym. You could work in the bookstore or the library. So there's something out there for everybody. Or, you could work off campus as well. So there's a lot. And we tell everybody that college, your experience is whatever you put into it. That's what you're going to get out of it. So we definitely encourage you to like step out of your comfort zone and find something that is fun for you or challenges you, and take advantage of all the really amazing opportunities that are offered in college that are also outside of the classroom.
Awesome. So these are the admissions requirements and enrollment process at COCC. So we only have 1 out of 3 admission requirements. So you either have to be 18 years of age, have a high school diploma or GED, only one of those things. And if you are a senior in high school, I've had a lot of seniors ask me, well, I haven't graduated yet, but can I still apply? Or I'm not 18 yet, can I still apply? Of course you can, because once you start, um, that either fall or whenever you are wanting to start, we will see that you either have your diploma, GED, or your 18 years of age. And so how the enrollment process works is you submit your application to us. There is a $25 application fee. And so you do need to complete that application fee before a lot of these steps are to be completed. And then after that application fee is taken care of, that's only a one-time fee. And then you view the Bobcat Welcome, which is just a 30 to 45-minute video about all of the different resources on our campus, as well as you see student faces, faculty faces, staff talking about the campus and all that there is to offer. And then providing placement information. So we have what's called directed self-placement. And that is basically just a survey asking you questions about your math and writing at either another institution or high school, and asking how well did you do? Did you struggle? What type of math did you take? What type of writing did you take? And based on those answers, that survey will then maybe say you need to do additional testing or you are all good, and we'll place you in the best math and writing to start at COCC. And then attending a Bobcat advising registration session. So that is a day where you get to meet with an advisor of your program. And so let's say you are a nursing student, you will actually meet with the nursing advisor, and they will help you pick the right classes for you to start out and kind of show you a plan of, terms to come, and also what this term will look like for you as a student. And that's a really fun day because you actually get to register for classes and walk away with your schedule. And then lastly is attending Bobcat orientation. And so this is a really fun day on campus where you get to go to different sessions, you meet a bunch of different people. I swear, like the whole staff and faculty of COCC is there. There's free food, there's t-shirts, everything. So it's a really fun day to just get accompanied with campus and the different people on campus as well.
It's a really great way to kind of get out those pregame jitters because most students are feeling it. So it's a super fun day. Well, thank you all so much for joining us. We hope this was helpful. If you do have any additional questions, please feel free to reach out to us. There is our contact information. Email is the best way to reach us right now because we are working remotely, but feel free to call and leave us a voicemail as well, and we can follow up. But we hope to meet you in person sometime, and thanks for your time today. And we hope that you'll choose COCC and that it ends up being a great fit for you.
Thank you, everybody. My stupid